When I invited author Jody J Sperling on, the goal was to purely talk about magical systems, specifically urban magic, and magic that your character has grown up with or been accustomed to, but still needs to fascinate your audience. While we did discuss this, I want to be honest that this conversation got into some heavy weeds about the magic of writing itself and what an author's purpose really is in this very divided social climate. I hope you'll enjoy. I've noticed this with some stories. Like, I still remember recently I was reading a book in a beta reading session, and the opening scene was like this wizard calling up like a stool made of flowers or something, and this kid turns to the wizard and goes, "Was that magic?" I'm like, well, no shit, Sherlock. And I feel like that's something new writers can sometimes struggle with, is trusting your reader to be engaged and interested in the magic, even if your character is maybe just kind of used to it. So, we both kind of deal with this in our stories, which is we've got a suburban or at least a modern setting where there is some element of magic and the characters have to interact with that magic. They have to be willing to accept that magic on some level. It's their cup of coffee in the morning at that point to them,
There is an author named Haruki Murakami. If you or any of your listeners haven't heard of him, he is so good at doing this thing that I really just studied him until I settled into what he was doing. Every book he writes has a splash of magic to it. And the characters don't even know that it's there. It's so much a part of their world that, like, to even call it magic is almost an insult. It would be sort of like to say that having a bowel movement in the morning is magic. Sorry.
I don't know if I'll be leaving that in. We'll find out during edits. Oh my goodness, man.
Totally fine. And that Haruki Murakami just makes the magic feel like everyday and mundane. And so that's what I really wrestled with when I wrote the 9 Lives and subsequent books in the series. What I did with Buckshot Blast and the Goldfish Getaway is, like, there's a weight bench in the basement of one of the main characters' house that grants you anything like your heart's desire. The bigger your wish, the better the thing. And it's a no holds bar. But they have no sense that that's weird. It just exists in their world.
I'm not amazed every time I flick on a light switch. My toddler, when he was learning how to use light switches, of course it was magic to him.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, we all learned that this is just part of the world. And if we actually had access to magic, if there was actually people with superpowers, it wouldn't be this, oh dear God, you might be enamored with them like a celebrity. And I think we've seen that in some series, for example, The Boys, where they do a very good job of showing, like, hey, if this was an everyday thing, this would just impact how we interact with it. It wouldn't be the same awe that we would have if it stopped right in front of us today, here and now. Now, I am kind of curious, though, because you chose a very interesting movie, though, for this topic.
Yeah.
The Trip.
Did you see him in The Dark Knight Rises? And his voice gets even more emotional than it's ever done in the past before. I don't want to bury you, Batman. I will not put you into the ground in a little box. I will not do it, Master Bruce. I will not do it.
I'm not going to bury another Batman.
Another Batman? How many Batmans has he been burying? How many are there? I've buried 14 Batmen
I've buried
so far,
14 Batmen.
And their little pointy ears
I'm
in the box.
not going to bury another nylon cloak with pointy ears that people wear at birthday parties.
With a little belt, the very wide belt that is flattering to a man with an expanded girth. I won't do that to you, Master Bruce. I will not do it to you.
And I won't make the voice like that.
The voice goes even like that. He's basically yodeling.
So where's this one coming from?
They're both doing imitations. So they're actors because they're actors in real life. They're playing actors in the movie, and they're imitating Alfred in Batman in this scene. And it's them trying to one-up each other. But what the whole thing does that is so powerful, and I think changed the way that I viewed story forever, is that there's something loud on top of something quiet. And the loud is, I'm going to make this impression and I'm going to prove how good I am at doing the impression of Michael Caine, like on Michael Caine, and you're like, I can do a better Michael Caine than you. But underneath that, you're seeing layers of, like, this guy's so desperate that he thinks he needs to prove his worth based on his impression. And this guy's so desperate to show that he's valuable that he wants to do this impression better. And that's a big, huge piece of the movie. But as the whole thing builds, you start to get real humanity in these guys and their hopes and dreams. But they never state, like, I just wish that I was famous and had $1 billion and everyone loved me. Everything is subtext. Everything
Right.
that's said is said underneath the surface.
Okay, so I'm kind of hearing, like, if you were thinking about impersonations to an extent are a form of quote unquote magic in our world that we do
Yes.
just nod to every day.
So
And that's where
impersonations,
something
yeah.
everyone can do, but we all understand someone's capable of.
Yes, that is a kind of magic, but also playing yourself, but not being yourself is a kind of magic as well. And I think that that is the most central thing to fiction I've ever thought in my life. When I write Luke, when I write Lyle, they are both born from me. I have no other access to write a character than the magic of birthing a character out of me.
It's basically the age-old question, is an author one person trying to be many, or is an author many people trying to be one?
Yes.
And-
I'm going to go with
and-
the latter. I know I'm not supposed to answer that, but that's actually my feeling. Many
No.
people trying to be one. Yeah.
I'm the same way, because to me it is kind of addressing the fact that we're all multi-layered. We've all got different parts of ourselves that we segregate into different purposes, for sure.
Yeah. The point of the trip and the point of writing and the magic and everything that you're going to do, the better you get at never saying exactly what you mean, but by setting up what you mean, by showing it, is the magic.
Yeah, anytime you can let the reader come to that conclusion instead of overtly telling them the conclusion to come to, I agree. I think that that's the most powerful writing. Getting to something that is more actual magic, because we talked about this one that is more like mundane magic, if you would, with the trip.
Yep.
Now we've got something kind of on the classic side with Ghostbusters.
What do you mean choose? We don't understand.
Choose the form of the destructor.
Oh, I get it. Oh, very cute. Whatever we think of. If we think of J. Edgar Hoover will appear and destroy us, okay? So empty your heads. Empty your heads. Don't think of anything. We've only got one shot at this.
The choice is made.
Whoa!
The traveler has come.
Nobody choose anything. Did you choose anything? No. Did you? My mind is totally blank. I didn't choose anything. I couldn't help it. It just popped in there.
What? What just popped in there?
I tried to think.
Look!
No! It can't be.
What is it?
It can't be.
What did you do, Ray? Oh, shit.
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
We were watching this for the bazillionth time with my son.
Yeah.
And he's 3, so he doesn't really understand what he's seeing. But he sees this giant marshmallow man toddle up on the screen. And there's just this moment of awe in his face that I don't remember the last time I had, even just watching this movie. Even the characters, they just kind of so willingly accept this giant marshmallow man made by a god. And it's such a unique perspective that they are willing to accept that so readily.
It's somewhat setting up little magical beats along the way. There's already a team of people called Ghostbusters. They exist because they believe that there are ghosts. If they don't exist and a big marshmallow man walks through your scene, then you're in trouble if nobody acknowledges the weirdness of that. But in the same way, in The 9 Lives of Marva DeLonghi, Lyle eats every single time he speaks. Every single time he talks, he has a different piece of food. He goes from a hot dog to a watermelon to a chicken leg to an egg salad sandwich in every scene. And sometimes it's literally paragraph by paragraph. And you're like, where the heck is all of this food coming from? I literally don't. He must be like carting a refrigerator and a stove and, you know, a deli behind him somehow. I don't know how he's doing it. That's, I think, how you build magic, where these guys can be like, oh, Marshmallow Man, that's what we do. We're Ghostbusters. So in a world where Ghostbusters exist, then giant marshmallow men are inevitable.
Yeah, when I was reading the 9 Lives of Marvin DeLonghi, I love how Luke acknowledges that she doesn't even know where his food comes from. She's like, this just happens. She just outright says, I've just stopped asking where this comes from. And I think you're right, because bringing it into the Ghostbuster realm, like in the very beginning, like they're kind of poking fun at themselves, right? He's doing this interview with this chick, pretending that she's psychic, basically trying to get laid, if we're being real.
Yeah.
But then in the very next scene, his friend says, hey, I've got a real ghost. And he just jumps on the bandwagon, goes out, finds the ghost, and they open a business. And you want to talk about being an entrepreneur, they just go gung-ho on this nonsense. I think you're right. A big part of that is just having them so willingly and almost in a childlike delight kind of way, accepting it, right?
Yeah.
Because as we grow older, we set more rules on what is and what is not real, quote unquote. And I think as kids, and maybe this is because I'm a parent now, we have a much more willingness to accept whatever could be.
One thing I do want to say, if there's ever a moment where you think something you're doing is like improbable, hang a lantern on it, cast the light on the thing you're afraid to present. And you tell everybody watching the magic that this thing exists. And when you highlight it, then they get comfortable because they're like, oh, this is the world we're in.
This goes into something I've been talking about with other authors on this podcast a lot lately, where bringing that light on there, like you said, it comes down to whatever you're scared to write, whatever you think is strange, don't hide from it. Acknowledge it and bring it to light, like you did with Luke just saying, yeah, I don't know where Lyle gets his food. I have no idea. Once you put that out there, it's so much more fun. It's kind of like the comedian who just turns it into a punchline at that point, and everyone is laughing with them, not at them. Hey y'all, just a 5-second intermission to remind you that these videos are sponsored by me and my Vampire Buddy Cop mystery series. So if you enjoy all these different interviews and finding new authors you've probably never heard of, please make sure you're not only hitting the subscribe and the like button, but going over to ehdrake.com to check out free chapters and audiobook samples of my Vampire Buddy Cop mystery series. This is what keeps the channel going and helps me find you all these new interviews. Now back to the episode. Shall we go ahead and look at the final clip? Because you and I both write kind of an urban fantasy mystery. That is why I chose this last one, which is Jessica Jones and Kilgrave.
Hell is going on here? Drop your weapons! Fred, shut up. Don't move.
Oh, everyone, calm down. You're killing the mood. Jessica. I'm not surprised to see me. You had to know I'd come for you. Not this fast. I will admit to keeping eyes on you. Spies are easy to come by. For me.
Do whatever you're going to do to me, but let them go.
Well, I have to protect myself, so.
Then control me, not them.
I have absolutely no intention of controlling you. I want you to act on your own accord.
Act how? Suicide? Is that why you've been torturing me?
Oh my God. Jessica, I knew you were insecure. That's just sad. I'm not torturing you. Why would I? I love you.
It's so good. Like, you talked earlier about subtext, and oh my God, just this whole show is layered with subtext that Jessica is not getting the entire time. And it's so good, where she is just so consumed thinking, oh, this bad guy is coming back for me. And it's not until this point that she realizes, no, this bad guy has a whole nother agenda for you. You haven't even been aware of. She is so scared that she is facing her abuser. She's facing, let's just call it what it is, her rapist. No, YouTube, I'm not making that word sound like a fruit. You're an asshole for making me do that. She's facing down a man who's done horrible, awful things to her, and she's still trying to remain strong for others. Like, there's so much subtext, but it's buried under this illustration of immense power from two sides.
Historically, and I think I can say just, evolutionarily, women don't have strength like men do. But what I think Jessica Jones did so well was that they actually created the woman who had that, because it flips gender roles, it flips stereotypes, it flips everything. And she's so good at holding that space. And David Tennant, he's very stringy. He's never threatening to solve an issue with his fists. He's like,
right.
Hey, darling, I'd like you to go get me the milk. And then he uses his power to get the milk. That is really, really powerful. And it's a theme through
it's the subversion
discussion.
Of the standard roles, like you're mentioning, because
I'm not saying that that's actually men and women. I am saying that's the stereotypes of men.
Right,
and
that's
women.
the traditional, and to an extent, there's a reality of that, because biologically, I am built to nurture and build children, and blah blah blah, and you're built to protect the family and make sure that we can hunt and gather.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put this in because I don't want to get a bunch of dumb dinglings wanting to argue with me about biology.
I kind of wish you would, because I wish dumb dinglings would argue with you.
I could easily rage bait myself into a much bigger channel. I really could.
Yeah, actually,
but
I
would
said
be
things early on in this podcast where I was like, "You're going to cut this moment when I think this moment could help you get views."
But that's the thing is, I'm not here just to quote unquote get a view. And you and I had this conversation actually during my interview with you, like on your show, where I have a choice to make at some point. And what I say as an author, I think I have to take extreme care with. I think I have to anyway, but as an author, I have to be very care about, because very caring, because I think authors have a very specific role in society. A lot of people say, "Oh, we have a duty to tell the truth." The old V for Vendetta, artists use lies to tell the truth.
Okay, yeah.
I understand that point. I don't agree with it. I think artists traditionally are the glue that binds society. We are the linchpin. We're the ones that make it so that you can go to work and know that there's something safe for you to talk to around the water cooler, and you'll probably disagree with your coworker about it.
The point of stories is it's safer to argue about something that doesn't exist for the reasons that all of us feel that we're passionate. For example, like we like Jessica Jones and David Tennant, Kilgrave, we like the two of them because they're not real. So if I come to work and I'm like, "Hey, did you just see the most recent episode of Jessica Jones?" And you're like, "Yeah, I did." And then you argue about it and you fight about the episode and you're like, "I love that episode." And your coworker's like, "I hated that episode." And then you argue about it. When you end, there's no Donald Trump.
Yeah. There's no Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. There's just a story. And then you're not mad at each other because you're like, we both watched the show and we felt differently about it. But the minute that there's a Donald Trump and there's a Kamala Harris, all of a sudden you're like, "I hate that person. They're different." You said this. I'm rephrasing it in my own way because I never knew why I was doing what I was doing until this exact moment. Yeah, thank you. You did this. I'm going to give you credit. I'm creating stories because I'm trying to explain to you why I'm an addict, why I am a father, why I'm a husband, why I am an entrepreneur, why I'm all these things. I'm trying to explain to you in a way that won't hurt your feelings. Like, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
And if you can enter into the story, it's safe for both of us to talk about it. But if you confront me, I will be defensive and I will not tell you the truth, going all the way back to the trip and subtext.
It gives us a place to actually be more human and more vulnerable because we know it's fiction. And I think that that's very true of storytelling and songs and books, especially because, I mean, you don't sit down with a book for 2 hours unless it's a short story.
Yeah.
You sit down with a book for days, weeks, hours. And those characters change you. This is magic that we've lost recently, and it's fucking depressing. I'm not bleeping that. It's fucking depressing.
It really is.
We have lost our ability to be curious for each other. Yeah. We've gotten to a point that instead of wanting magic, we just want to have magic words to name and label each other. And you know what? I miss when I was a teenager and labels were stupid.
Yeah.
Well, with that terribly light and frolicking note, just super light, like Jessica Jones light.
Yes, exactly.
If you had new authors saying in front of you, brand new, they haven't been AuthorTube, they haven't been in Twitter, any of that stuff. What is the one thing you wish you'd known when you'd gone in?
Disdain. No one else will say this, so I will say it. Hate everybody else and believe you can do it better than them. The fuel of anger and disdain will take you just far enough that you can figure it out. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, it sounds weird, but just be really mad that everybody else, like Brandon Sanderson, like Stephen King, like Joe Abercrombie, just be like their shtick. They're horrible, and I can do better than them. I'm so mad at them for their failures. Disdain. Be disdainful.
Can I just laugh at the fact that this is ironic, considering I just sat here going on this monologue about how we need to stop othering people?
I know.
I'm totally keeping
You
that in.
set
That's
me up for it.
hilarious.
I apologize. You set me up for it. I didn't actually. I don't mean it exactly that way.
I know.
There's
If
like
people can't
black
understand
magic, you know? Yeah.
hyperbole, then they can go fuck off. But
Yeah,
it was just really
exactly.
funny. It was just funny.
Yeah, I do. I think there's a place for black magic, and if you are meant for this job, let the black magic fuel you just long enough that you get into orbit, and then learn how to settle it all out, I guess. Yeah.
No, I kind of hear you. I think it comes down to during your first draft, you should be writing as though you're the best writer ever
Yeah.
and there's no limits and da-da. And then when you get to your edits, there needs to be a very heavy dose of humility.
Oh yeah,
A very heavy dose of humility.
I've met some writers who will not give up a single sentence, and they fail every time.
Yeah, and then you meet the ones that won't give up on it, and Yale James totally rock the world for some reason. Oh, did I say that out loud? Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thank
this
you
has been
so much. Yeah,
an
it's been a
unusual
delight.
treat.
I'm sorry. Yes, I know. I didn't mean to.
This
I
is our own
apologize.
trip. This is our own trip.
Yes, exactly.
But where
Oh.
can people find you and your bougie magical books?
Yeah, www.jodyjsperling.com.
Like I said at the top of the episode, the conversation kind of went into the weeds, and I have gotten Jody's permission to post that last portion. I'd love your opinion on the original topic, but if you've made it to the end of the video, I would really appreciate conversation about this secondary tangent down below. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy writing.